So I wanted to continue with using the shape tools in Illustrator, and I want to go ahead and show you how to create a very simple graphic using just your shape tools. So if you didn't see down here, there's just a pencil icon, and this was completely created with the shape tools. So let's just go start at the beginning and we can create our pencil here. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my rectangular tool, which is a shape tool, and I can actually hold down with my mouse and expand out the palette and then just tear it off here. And the first shape is this square that's kind of the writing tablet, and then there's a copy of the square on top. So I have a black initial square and then a white square on top. So I'm going to go ahead and make both of those. So I'll grab my rectangle tool. To make a square, all you have to do is hold down Shift. So hold down Shift with your hand while you drag, and you can drag out the square. If you wanted to make it a precise size, you would simply click in the rectangle tool quickly and pull up this dialog box, and then you would type in a specific number, like you could say 4 inches by 4 inches or 3 inches by 3 inches. So I'll just do 3 by 3. Click OK, and then I get a square that's 3 by 3 inches. Okay, so I have my square. I'm going to select it, and I want to change the fill color from white to black. Notice over here I have a white fill and a black stroke. If I look at this example, it's just a black fill here. So I'm going to go to my color palette, and I'm just going to click on black, which is right over here on the right hand side. Once I click on that, you notice the fill changes. So now I have a fill of black, a stroke of black, and I have a black square here. So once I fill it, I can go ahead and rotate it. I can just use my rotate tool here. I could quickly click on it and specify an angle here, or I can actually go and drag it and just kind of eyeball it as I drag. So I'll go ahead and do that. And once I do that, I can scale a copy to go inside, like the white square down here that's on top. So I'm going to go grab my scale tool. It's right by the rotate tool. I'll click on it, and actually I'm not going to drag this time. I'm going to make a copy of the original. The original one is selected. I quickly click on this, and the original is going to be about, let's say, 80%, or this copy is going to be about 80% of the original. I click copy here, and notice one pops up right in the center here. If I wanted to make that a little bit smaller, I could easily do that by once again clicking on this tool and typing in, let's say, 80% again, and clicking OK. Makes it a little bit smaller. Then I need to change the fill. Notice that it's white on this version, so I'm going to go into my color palette and I'm going to click on white here, and then I have the black and white overlapping. So next I'll work on the pencil itself. So I'll start with the rectangle tool here, and I'll just kind of go right beside it. I can drag it up after I'm done drawing it, and I'll make my first initial rectangle. I'm just going to eyeball it, kind of make the shape here, and I'll change the color to black. And then the top of this graphic looks like a rounded rectangle. So I'm going to go next to my rectangle tool, and here's the rounded rectangle tool. And I'm going to click on that, and I'm actually going to kind of try and line it up. So I'm going to go right on top of the original here and kind of line it up. I might make it slightly smaller, just a tad bit smaller. And then I'll keep the color black, but I'll change where it's located by clicking on my arrow tools, and you can kind of precisely move it over with these arrow tools on your keyboard. So I'll just move it over a tiny bit, and then I'm going to grab my rounded rectangle again to make these two little tops to the pencil head. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and drag these out. I can always change the size with the scale tool if I make them too large or too small. I'll just kind of drag it out here. Let go. I'm going to change the color to white, the fill to white. I'm going to move it over with my arrow keys until I line it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy it. So I'm going to click on my scale tool again. I'm going to quickly double click. It's 100%. I want it to be the exact same size. So I'm going to type in 100% here, click copy, and a copy then was created right on top of the original, and I'll just move it down so that it's right below it, kind of like the one in the example. Then I'll deselect so you can take a look. Okay, looking pretty good. It's a little bit larger than the original, but that's okay. At this point, if I wanted to change it, I could select everything here, and I could go to scale again. I could double click quickly, and I could scale it down by like, 80%. I can preview too to see what it looks like. That's looking a little too small, so let's do 90%. Preview it. Okay, that's looking actually better. I'll click OK. And there's my body. Now I'm going to go ahead and create the pencil head here. Now that's created using my star tool. So if you click on your star tool here and you drag inside of your artboard, you notice a star appears, and you might have 6 arms. You could also have 7 arms. It depends on what it defaults to. So I can create a star. That's not right. I want to make a triangle, not a star. But I use this tool to create it. So how do I do it? So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. And I'm going to grab the star tool again. It's already selected, but I'll just select it again. And then I'm going to click with my mouse and drag. Before I let go with my mouse, I'm going to go over to my arrow keys and click the down arrow and just make this triangle by eliminating handles. I'm going to kind of eyeball it a little bit. I can always scale it, and it kind of rotates a little bit when you do this, so I'm going to try and make it as straight as possible since I'm eyeballing it. And then once I feel happy about the size, I'm just going to let go. This might be a little too large or a little too small, but that's okay. I'm going to drag it down and see how well I did here. Oop, it is. It's a little bit big. I'll just go ahead and place it on top. I'm going to fill it with white here. And it has a stroke of black like the original. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'll just scale it down by like, it's probably not that much off. So I'm going to do 98%. Click OK. And it scales down a little bit. Then I'll deselect it, see what it looks like. It's a little bit large. I'm going to scale it down a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead, double click, 98%. Okay, makes it a little bit smaller. So you can kind of eyeball it and scale it until it's exactly right. That's looking pretty good. I'll live with that. Then I'm going to go ahead and make another copy. So I'm going to click on that, but I'm not going to downsize the original. I'm going to downsize a copy. I'm going to click on my scale tool. And what is the copy? Let's see, maybe it's 20%. And then I can preview that, see what it looks like. Okay, that's looking pretty good actually. Maybe I'll go 25% just to be on the safe side. Click copy here, and then I can just move that copy like straight down there and kind of fit it on top of the original. Turn it to black, and then let's see if it's big enough. Oh, perfect. Looks good. Okay, so now I've kind of drawn my pencil. I'm going to move it up to my graphic here, lay it on top. Deselect. So the only other thing I'd say is this kind of looks like it needs to be stroked because it doesn't stand apart from the background here. So I have a stroke of black. I'm going to go ahead and click on the stroke here and make it white, and then I'm going to deselect again and see how that looks. And that actually looks a lot better. You might have to line this up too a little bit differently once you do that and make sure that it lines up just exactly right, or you'll get that kind of overlap, that little bit of a line there. So I'll click on it. There we go. That's looking good. Okay, so that's basically how you create it. I just used the rest of the tools to create these little graphics on top. So you can grab your ellipse tool, and if you want a perfect circle here, you hold down Shift while you're dragging. Just create a little graphic. And then this was my square. Oh, better hold down Shift to make that a perfect square here. And then I created a star, and I just eliminated and added arms. So remember, if you grab your star tool and you drag here, you can add arms or delete arms by just clicking with this down arrow. And then if you want to move things in small amounts, click on those up and down arrows. The lines in the pencil can be created in several different ways. You could actually just use your pencil tool here, and you can eliminate your fill, grab your stroke, and just create a quick line that goes down the pencil body. So I can hold down Shift to make it a completely straight line, put it on top here. Oops, I just realized that I did that with a stroke of white, so I'm going to click on the stroke of white here and do it again so that we get something that's a white stroke. And it's not even showing up because it's so small here in the line. I'm going to have to get a little closer here. Let's see if that pencil's showing up. There we go. Okay. Oh. To make this a little bit more precise, I'm going to grab my pen tool. The pen tool will create shapes and lines, and I'm going to go over that next week a little bit. But what I can do is click here, then hold down Shift, create a straight line. Then I'll go here and I'll do a straight line. Now I'm just eyeballing it. I could use my grid and ruler to make this much more precise. Oops, don't want to do that. I want to deselect actually before I do that second line. So I'm going to deselect and then I'm going to grab the pencil tool again. Just eyeballing it. I'm going to click here, then go down, click again to make another line. Okay, you get kind of the idea now. So remember, you can scale, you can rotate, you can refine these shapes. Your fill and stroke are very important, but it is very simple once you kind of get a hang of using these shape tools to create these graphics. And I'm sure with this symbol exercise, if you wanted to create some of your symbols at this point using your basic shape tools, it wouldn't be that big of a problem for you.